Me and Derek and I are visiting our Palisades Bigfoot experience again. Happened back before 2012, and we're hiking into the draw where we heard the vocalizations that happened below us. And I just wanted to show you guys some of the food resources up here. Some choke cherries. Check those out. Some of them are really purple and ripe. The pits are huge compared to a normal cherry.
Big pretty ones.
We start back here, we start finding food resources. I mean, why wouldn't a Sasquatch be back here?
An early version. Still way too need to grow. Definitely a chalky taste. It definitely needs more.
There are all the caterpillars. There was lots of caterpillars back there then too.
One of those fell inside of Derek's sock up in the Lost Creek and stung him or whatever, stabbed him. Yep, right up there on top of this mountain, before we got to the top, is where all the Bigfoot stuff started happening. This is where we had our experience back in 2012, may have been 2011, and we've been wanting to hike down at the bottom of this draw along the creek as far back as we could get, because that's where two of the vocalizations were taking place, and they were vocalizing to something that was above us on the mountain. We eventually hiked to the top and found Bigfoot tracks right between the vocalizations, so we think we may have slipped behind one, split it off from its group, and they were vocalizing back and forth to each other. It's a really steep hike, and we were just concentrating on breathing and climbing that thing, and so we weren't making much noise hiking up it. It was Jenny and I and Kelsey and Connor. Those are two of my kids. But after that happened, and we'll put a link to our driving roundtable that we did on the way in here so that you guys can hear more about the experience. But the vocalizations were happening down here low, so we're gonna hike back to where those vocalizations were coming from and look around. I mean, I know it was in 2012, but if there was a reason for the Bigfoot to be there then, there's even more reason to be here now. We're finding all kinds of ripe berries, so we got to be on the lookout for bears. It's just a smorgasbord right now back here, so if there's any reason for the Bigfoot to be here, right now is a reason.
He's backing up. He saw you. He's getting ornery.
Wow. Is that his head over there?
Yeah.
My kids swam in the lake up here when we were up here, and they said there was hundreds of snakes in the water. Is he a snake or a salamander?
He's gross feeling.
Yes, this is Jen. Truly just fearless. She's good.
He's trying to get warm.
He's cold.
He's cold. He didn't even want to be messed with. He was out here sunbathing, said, "You jerk." These guys walked right past him.
I'm looking for Bigfoot, not snakes. No, I definitely need to keep my eye out for rattlesnakes.
Looking for Bigfoot. Without question.
Yeah, I didn't see him at all. We could have stepped on him and not even known it.
Well, at the end of the day, I mean, if you're just at a glance, he would have looked like a root.
He needs to hibernate soon.
Yeah.
It's been getting down to close to freezing at night in this area. And actually, I don't know if you guys can tell, but the leaves are just getting ready to start changing everywhere up here. Remember, the trail started getting thick like this before we headed up on top of the mountain. Kind of keeping an eye on the side of the mountain. Derek had a rock drop right next to him that come from this side. This is mud. It's thick and muddy. That's your action scene for the day. Something's been traveling through here.
Something big too.
Looks like it's been laying in there too.
Yeah.
Something's been bedding down there. It's getting thick. I remember this part. Yeah. Remember cooling our feet off in this.
Grasshopper swimming.
I think we're at the point where you have to choose to go up the mountain.
Yep.
Yep, right here. We haven't been back in there where we heard the lower vocalizations, but we hiked up the top of the mountain. This is the little teeny trail that you take that takes you up over the top. And between here and the top is when we had all that crazy Bigfoot experience. And I'm blaming it on Bigfoot because we found 3 sets of tracks. And the vocalizations, everything that was going on. And then on the very top was an abandoned tent that was really beat up and torn.
This is where you guys hiked up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Up and over top of the mountain.
So we haven't, from where we're standing now, that direction into the draw we have not looked at yet.
Up there looking down into wherever you are here?
We're looking down into this draw ahead of us. That's why we want to go up further in this draw.
This goes up, wraps around the mountain, goes clear up that side and up over the other end.
And just to point out, berries
Oh yeah.
right here in front of us.
Berries right here at the bottom. And they look like choke cherries too.
They're pretty.
If there was one vocalization that kept vocalizing to the ones down below us, and there was at least 2 of whatever down here, I just had the gut instinct they were kind of freaked out that we had got between their group. That's how I felt. It's been a long time I've thought about this draw where the 2 vocalizations were, so I'm a little excited, just a little. Take a look around. You get off the trail and it just gets so thick. I don't know if you guys can tell, but you probably would need a machete unless you're really motivated to cut your way off trail over there.
Over?
No, that was,
Was that loud?
yeah, maybe a woodpecker.
There's berries right there.
It sounded Bigfoot, like not woodpecker, right? Wood on wood.
Sounded wood on wood. and it was quick.
It sounded like a sentry knock, Jenny says.
Hear it again?
Yeah. I plainly heard it that time. That was
Mic on high?
that was 3.
You got the mic on high?
Nope.
I don't know if my phone
Because
will
it's
actually hear it.
I'm aimed right at it, it will catch it.
Sorry, just capturing some of the berries.
Oh, get out of your way.
Something prickly. I feel it on my legs. I'm alive.
Jenny already got that 6th sense feeling.
Well, I've been keeping an eye. I haven't seen any poison ivy or poison oak. And I do not believe there's any poison sumac around here, but definitely poison ivy.
Yeah, up in here.
That was weird, it was 3 knocks. I rarely hear 3 knock combos.
That's straight up.
And it's thick, thick. It's dense.
Feels more like thistle than anything.
Wow, it's so humid tonight.
It's been humid since we've been up here. That is true. It snowed and rained for 2 days last week, so I think the humidity's all that coming up out of the ground.
Strong. I don't
Something dug into the ground.
I don't think I could have moved that rock.
2 rocks. Like something pulled those 2 stones out of the ground. Let's see if we can see claws or anything.
And those are some big rocks.
Now they're probably 50 pounds each, maybe more. It wasn't a squirrel.
Look at that. That's some big stuff.
We can kind of get off trail right here.
Yeah.
Kind of want to glass this hillside a second.
Something came through here. Listen.
Sound like something got thrown.
Yeah.
Right in the wood knock direction. Sound like something got thrown.
Big old rock came hurtling through the brushes.
I had this camera aimed at it. The mic might have got it.
Yeah.
Do you see it? I mean, how do you miss it?
I'm gonna get your tape measure.
Yeah, there's a tape measure. It's in the inside. There's a little net pocket.
Wrong pocket.
And we're just going to point it out just so you can actually see. I'll get on this side. You can see where the hill is right through here. And the side of it that goes down there and then splays across this. And it might be a little bit bigger, but
It's heading in the direction we heard the
Heading in
knocks
the-
and something thrown.
absolutely heading in the direction. And you're
And,
looking
and there's a trail over there that Jenny just pointed
16,
out.
16 inches.
It's good length.
And you're talking 8 inches across,
Up near
7
the
inches
toes.
across.
Wow.
It's closer to 8.
Uh-oh. That's heading right in the direction of the knocks and where something just got thrown.
Rocks just came through the bushes.
get shit thrown at us.
Whoa. Did you guys hear the knock behind us?
I heard you.
It was the one knock, sentry knock. Bap. Want me to put that back in there?
Yeah, please. It's a pretty good footprint. Honestly, honestly, that's something that's castable.
Okay, so right here is the
Would you not think?
Yeah. Right here's the boundary where they're not
Yeah,
comfortable.
they're not going any further.
They're not comfortable, so I guess we will.
Look, it really narrows out and gets really, the trail gets so much more rugged.
Actually kind of makes me want to cast out of it, and it is kind of on a hill. It would all run to the toes.
Yeah, it's hard to find a level place that,
And that one,
I mean, to cast a footprint, everything has to be damn near perfect. It has to be level, it has to be, if there's a bunch of grass in it, it'll just ruin it. It's just, you know, everybody's like, oh, cast every single one of them. It's like, yeah, we used to do that.
cast every single one of them.
We used to do that.
Yeah, I don't. Left
It
or
has
right?
gotten thick. We're on animal trails now, folks. We were on a pretty decent hiking trail. The trail has ended, and right where the trail ends, and now we're on an obvious animal trail. That's where Derek measured the Bigfoot style track. Not going to blame it on Bigfoot, but it was definitely Bigfoot shaped in size. And now we're off trail, following an animal trail.
This way, and it goes right. But this whole tree right here. This little moss-covered tree right here.
I can't really tell where we should go. I'm thinking that way. You guys coming? Okay. Not even a couple 100 feet from the one that Derek just measured. Another Bigfoot shaped track.
That's the
I don't know what that means, but it's scary. And especially when it happens.
Okay, there's the toes across there, and it comes down to the hill, down around somewhere down here, it looks like, and it's heading uphill at some point in time.
Absolutely.
It probably comes in and out of here all the time. I mean, there's berries right down. We just passed a bunch of
And
berries.
you are right. I mean, it's just,
Another one.
and that's
It's close to it's close to 16. It's close to the
same size.
same size.
It's walking on its toes up here
You found the
on the front part of it.
found the toe parts.
Just on the
Oh
front part.
yeah.
It's steep, so that it's only using the front part of his foot right here.
In the front of the, what some refer to as the mid-tarsal toes up there, and it's just using the front pad, which makes sense because it's steep. And we kind of climb on our toes when we're going uphill too.
My heels aren't touching the ground. Here's some more. Oh. Holy shit.
Steep. Doesn't look like we have to go up very high to get to the top of this one though. Oh my gosh, it's thick. Definitely an animal trail.
Standing on loose tape.
Oh, Just got stabbed. The deeper we get in here, the more alpine it becomes. Yeah. Deadfall. Have to. This is thick. Yep, we were on that mountain, and there was two of them vocalizing down in this draw that we're in, up to one that was above us on the mountain. They seem to be communicating with their whoops and
Right over.
Yep. See how bent that over is?
Yeah.
Alright, we need to kind of back up. So, you got this bent over, push it up.
go ahead while he's looking at that. He thinks it may be Bigfoot related, manipulated vegetation. It's just getting to the point where we need a machete and a chainsaw. Some more of those white berries. They're saying they're snowberries. I'm not absolutely positive what they are, but there is a ton. These seem to be the most plentiful. And there's a lot of choke cherries. And we've been seeing rose hips. I'm just at a dead end. I'm going to squeeze back here a little further. There's no longer even an animal trail. This is bushwhacking. There's you have to have a machete and a chainsaw if you want to go any further.
It goes right up here.
I don't think so.
That may have been a trail, but there's a tree in the way now.
Yeah.
And not a human trail, that's an animal trail.
Yep, look at those big dig-ins.
This is nasty. This is
Look at that.
total bushwhacking where we're at now.
Look in there.
Oh, there's a track up in there.
It might be moose.
Yeah, well, that moose had to duck.
Yeah, if it's moose,
I don't know what it is.
I think he would have been.
Well, if he was,
tearing some
if he
stuff
tore
up.
in right there and head up that way, then they run right through this stuff. I mean, this
would
is
say
their
if it was a
environment.
moose, it was probably a female moose.
You can see big marks all the way through there. I think something went down on hands and knees and went up through there.
Wow.
Absolutely possible.
We've hit the point where we need machetes and chainsaws, you guys.
Yeah.
I went back there about another 20-30 feet and it's just, there is no animal trail left. It is complete
followed the
bushwhacking.
track, and the tracks led us to where you're not going anymore.
Yeah.
Well, we don't have the equipment.
Yeah, I got a buck knife. We got a buck knife, a 45, and some mace. That's not gonna cut through this.
Shoot.
I know.
It goes right up there.
Yeah, it's nuts.
I know.
I'm starting to get worried I'm gonna spook a bear that's laying down in this stuff, you know? Of course, he should hear us coming. I heard that. There's a flip.
Well,
Let's go and find the places, the nooks and crannies near the creek and see if we can find evidence of a Bigfoot using this creek. It's down below us. It's probably a 50-foot drop down to the creek. But we've ran out of trail on this side. Oh, it's nasty thick. It's a lightly used game trail. And looks like we found some Sasquatch tracks along it too. Whoa! Be careful, that's ankle breaking stuff. Well, I told these guys I wanted to hike back in this draw as far as we could possibly get. And that's as far as we could get without a really good machete and chainsaw. And of course, we're Bigfooting. We're not here to blaze a trail. And Jenny in grizzly bear country, we need to wait for her. I didn't realize that she got that far behind.
I followed it to the left, Jen. Followed the big trunk, the tree, the toppled tree. It was easier going the other way.
Oh, that's right. What did you hear? What happened?
Basically ushering us out of the canyon.
Yeah, well, that's only because we're not willing to go back and get the machete.
We're up there cheering. We win, he wins.
Well, sometimes they'll follow you all the way out. What did you hear?
thumping right up there.
Right in the direction the footprints went.
Right up through here. You can't see it from there. Right?
Here, you take the camera. I'm going to unzoom and you can...
It won't go through the...
Focusing on the stuff in the
It's
foreground,
focusing, yes. It won't focus. It's just black in there. The big black shadow.
It's a big black. Ow! Oh, I see it.
See it?
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but
I'm trying to figure out where it's at and where'd it go?
I don't know.
It just disappeared. What? What? It moved. It disappeared. Can you see it again, Jenny? It's
No.
like it's. Oh, there it goes. There it is. I see it now. I see it now. I don't know what it is though. It's got so much cover.
The camera won't focus on it.
I don't know where it went. Oh, there it is. I'm not. It keeps, the camera keeps focusing on the foliage in the foreground. I can't focus in on what we're looking at.
Let's walk away and see if we can hear more thumps, because it was thumping behind me as you guys were out in front of me.
Nothing like that Kelly's camera does. I mean, just to throw this out, people, this is a Galaxy S9 Plus on a handheld gimbal. So, you know, that's the limitations of what I got in the hand, but it's got beautiful color.
It shoots very clear footage.
So, we're going to move on and hopefully whatever it is decides it wants to follow us out, which would not be the first time we got followed out of a canyon. In fact, it wouldn't be in, I bet you we've been followed out of canyons a good dozen times, if not more, that we're aware of. Jenny, about to pick yourself out. You never know. Just to come up and just, you know, want to poke you in the face. This is, I pointed this out earlier, Kelly. Look at how this is all ripped off and pushed down, and then that live sapling has been bent over.
Oh,
down underneath
it's
it.
under the dead
It's
one.
down under the dead one.
No way.
Yeah, yeah.
That's interesting when you got one that's been folded over and laid under one that's obviously been
there's two of
dead
them right
for
there.
years.
There's two of them. So it's clear at a 90 degrees and bent down underneath a bunch of deadfall.
Just right past the footprints we found too.
Yep. Sure shit.
And look, if they form damn near an X, the tops
Well,
of those.
this has been snapped off too. This one,
Yeah,
the one
snapped
back
off.
to you.
Yeah, I mean, there's so much that just went on right here.
It's like,
Don't know if it's Bigfoot related, but some say it is, so we like to point that out when we find
no,
stuff like that.
That's definitive proof and evidence right there.
No question.
No disrespect intended. It's all I'm saying.
Wow, that shit's thick stuff. Saw something in the shadows down there's probably
We
a
knew
pointy
once we were going to
stuff.
get back in here, it was going to get thick.
yeah.
Just because everything that we've been back in here, everything is just thick.
Last time we was here, the trail ran out too, so.
I'm not going to push this.
funny when you're hiking in this amazingly thick stuff and a bull moose or an elk, bull elk, runs past with these giant antlers and they move through this like it's nothing. And
Knocks on the opposite side. Another three knock.
I rarely hear the 3-knock combo. It's usually 1 or 2 knocks and that's it.
3 knocks.
And it did 3 knocks that way just before we come up.
It seemed. You know, the fact that you guys were up here the last time and you actually were pretty much surrounded by basically Class B sightings, right? Audible stuff you're hearing, both sides of you.
Class B with several footprints found and documented.
And we've just come up here and we're having the exact same experience. And the 16,
Not exactly the same. We haven't heard whoops yet.
not the same, but you
They
know,
were-
either way,
We had a lot of
audibles,
vocalizations that
wood
time.
knocks, both sides of us, and footprints.
Yeah, I don't think we caught them off guard this time like the last time. I think they were panicking the last time.
The fact that you're finding any footprints when you're talking about something that's this thick, that's not an easy task.
We were hiking into the wind, you guys. We could very easily have surprised the bear.
Yeah.
Because that pushes the noise back behind us and it pushes our smell back behind us. That's when you're hiking with the wind in your face. That's when you're most at risk of surprising a bear. How thick this stuff is, you guys.
Something's been digging out of that log over there,
Yeah.
getting some food.
Something's been digging right there.
This is the steep part.
Heard snapping across the way on our right side. Something's working its way on the other side of the creek from us. Did you hear that over there, Derek? I don't think it was wood knocking. I think it was like snapping from movement. Steep right here. Whoa. Thanks. Having mace and a firearm, honest, doesn't even make me feel any better. Makes me feel like 1% better than without. Yep. At least we know that it's not foolproof. People die of bear attacks all the time with mace or a firearm in their hand.
Here's another tree that's alive that's been bent down. Right here.
Yeah. And it doesn't have enough pine boughs for snow load to rip it over.
And then there's an older one right here.
I heard a snap up on our left, up high. Not saying there's something parallel on us, but the snap up there. I heard a vocalization off to our right, you guys.
I didn't hear that.
Yep, I hope the camera caught it. I heard a big ol' whoo! Different tone than I just used though. Off to our right. Hey!
No.
Just responding to what I heard. Okay. That was a vocalization. Not saying it was a squatch, but something vocalized.
We'll keep you pointed that way just in case. 'Cause we've heard quite a few things over on that side of the hill already.
We've had stuff happen on both sides of us now. That's your gimbal?
Yeah.
It's called the Nosmo? They make gimbals for these types of cameras, but I don't know if I want another 2-3 pounds of gear. Oh, you got stuff in your hair. Twigs, leaves. Let's see the other side. Oh, I got it all. Jenny, Derek, and I stopped to take a break and eat some homemade Lunchables. Been hiking for a couple hours, and we're stopping here taking a break, and something crack up this mountain from us. So I'm busting out the camera up there, and not only did you hear crack, that got our attention up there, and I saw a movement. Saw something move through the forest up there. I just don't know where it's at this point, or what went crack. It's just so thick up in there. Saw movement around there. I'm freehand zooming with the camera. I really apologize about not being able to hold still, but we don't have time to set up a tripod when stuff happens. You know what I mean? Got to get the camera in on it and zoom. I mean, look, it looks pretty steady when I'm zoomed out. But when I'm zooming in a half a mile on something, freehanding it, it's going to be a little bit shaky. You know, if I was a a professional setting up a commercial or a television show, I'd probably set up for an hour before I shot the scene. We have to be ready to go on the fly. We don't have time to set up a tripod and zoom in on stuff. Apologize for those that don't understand. Yeah, I don't know what it was. It's like now that it knows it has our attention, it's not going to make a sound. All right, we sat here for quite a while seeing what knocked up there, and then saw movement. Now that it's got our attention,
It stopped.
Moved
It's just holding still or whatever it's doing.
and we're walking past some of these white berries again. Actually, we were sitting in some rose hips taking our break.
Look at them. Right there by your foot.
Oh, Oregon grapes.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that, people.
Those look good. There's some more. They're all right
Yay.
here. There's a whole bunch of them all right here.
Oh, it's just covered.
Yep.
Look, maybe a bear or a squatch up on the mountain waiting for us to get out of here so he can come down and eat. You know what I mean? That's all Oregon grapes right there. And we were sitting in some rose hips, and whatever those white berries are food everywhere. I don't know if people can eat these or if animals can eat them, but if they can, I've seen more of these white berries than anything.
Another tree. A bunch of something moving through there. Bent over and tucked down underneath these trees over here.
Water goes right through where the trail is.
Something moved off and down in through there. It's a whole different view coming back from the other way. Looks like something was laying down or something, then moved off.
Yep, probably laid down, had a drink, got up, had another drink.
We're
gonna head back down to the vehicle, and I'm starting to run out of battery space, so I'm gonna only film if I see or hear something. So keep on watching. We'll keep on squatching. We find anything else, I'll put it at the end of this video. Oh, it stinks right here. Ooh. Look, and look, something's been bedding down right here where it stinks. I wonder if something's been spraying right here. Oh.
This is where we actually saw it. Where they were bedding down on our way back up.
Point where it was bedding. It stinks through here.
Mm-hmm.
I think something's been bedding and spraying.
It smells yucky.
Like elk, deer, maybe squatch or bear. I don't know.
Something.
Something that leaves 16-inch long by 8-inch wide footprints.
Right?
Something that don't use soap. That narrows it down. Sounded like a rock clack up on our left, so we got to turn the camera back on
Yeah, just a single crack.
in case it happens again. And I'm keeping the camera faced that direction because this is a directional microphone. So if it does it again on this side.
Just making sure you're coming.
She was in the front the whole way up, and now on the way back, she's He must be related to Brody.
Yeah, I was gonna
Brody's
say,
like, I don't want to go back.
down there for sure.
Brody tries to keep you out past dark when you go hiking with him.
I would have to say I can't blame him because this place is beautiful.
Yeah, I just don't like hiking around with grizzly bears in the dark.
Did not depress. It did not depress.
This is a neat place.
It did not what?
Depressed.
Depressed.
He's not depressed.
Okay, so you like
No. Yeah, it was cool.
I would say
sure.
it did not disappoint. It doesn't depress him.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was action that seemed Bigfoot style, and there was a couple of tracks, and
Yeah, I'm so depressed standing out here in the middle of some of the most beautiful country around, middle of the Tetons. Get to see a sight that everybody once in their life should see. Lay eyes on. You should come here. I don't care where you're from.
well, we're only about 40-50 miles from Jackson, Wyoming.
I'm just talking the area, not necessarily right here, because stay out.
We're actually in Idaho, but we're right next to the Wyoming border. Yeah.
Yeah, like literally real close.
Well, Palisades is just up over this little mountain here to our right.
Well, I was meaning
You come
before
down on the other
actually.
side of that, and there's the lake.